Krausge spelled K-R-A-U-S-E space Y-A-N-G. Today, we are announcing the filing of our response to the Williamson County Commissioner's motion for summary judgment. Plaintiffs and citizens refuse to accept that they must bow down to views and beliefs of the Williamson County Commissioners just to be constable. The Constitution was designed specifically to protect our citizens from oppression, from the government, and when the government makes citizens adopt views like God hates homosexuality just to get a job, that is where the First Amendment and privacy rights of our Constitution step in. They protect our citizens. They keep us safe. In this case, the Williamson County Commissioners, and you will get plenty of opportunity to see their testimony under oath as to what really happened. In this case, the Williamson County Commissioners asked questions about abortion, gay marriage, what church people belong to, their religion, and whether they were conservative enough just to be constable. In interviews, everybody knows it's illegal to ask questions about private beliefs and religion in an interview. And yet, the commissioners went forward and they admit that they asked questions about private beliefs and abortion and about gay marriage of every single applicant for the Williamson County Precinct 3 job. When they did this, they had no excuse. The only justification that the Williamson County Commissioners have offered was that they wanted somebody to run for election if they got the job. Now, as a practical matter, wanting somebody to run for election hardly justifies invading somebody's privacy and forcing them to adopt repugnant beliefs. But legally speaking, it holds no water whatsoever. And the Constitution and the interests behind our constitutional rights will prevail every time against an excuse based on speculation and an attempt to take over the government with one person's point of view. Now, with the filing of this response, Texas Civil Rights Project is also releasing new evidence. One piece of evidence is a sworn statement from witnesses who have something very interesting to say about what happened to them when they interviewed for appointments and jobs with the Williamson County Commissioners. I'd first like to introduce to you Eddie Hurst Jr. Mr. Hurst, you want to come up? Yes, sir. Thank you. Please tell them, and make sure you're in front of the microphone, please tell them when and what your experience was.
Thank you this morning for coming out here, and I would like to share my story with you. As you all might know, our responsibility is to be engaged in our government and in our community. And while serving as a planning and zoning commissioner in Cedar Park, I went to my commissioner, Ms. Cynthia Long, to ask her if I could volunteer for any boards or commissions, because I've volunteered for Meals on Wheels for over 14 years. I have experience with CPS because of my Casa Travis County volunteerism. So there are boards that deal with Meals on Wheels and CPS that I had direct experience in working with. When I went to have my interview with Ms. Long, she asked me questions that made me uncomfortable, questions that I answered honestly, but I found inappropriate. The first question she asked me was, am I as conservative as she is? The second question she asked me was, what church do I go to? The third question she asked me was, how did I feel about abortion? And the final question she asked me was about homosexuality. None of these questions had anything to do with my experience, and I obviously gave the wrong answer because I was not appointed to a board or a commission, even though there were openings. So the practice that our commissioners are utilizing at this time, it limits the participation of the everyday citizen being in our government, and it must stop. Thank you.
I want to thank Mr. Hurst for having the courage to stand up and tell his story. And I want to encourage others out there who have been discriminated against in this travesty I want to encourage them to stand up and let us know too. I hope more people have the bravery to contact the Texas Civil Rights Project and let us know what the Williamson County Commissioners in Williamson County have done to discriminate against their point of view, their beliefs. I want to also introduce April Nowling. April Nowling also interviewed with a Williamson County agency for a job. She also had an interesting experience and would like to share her tale.
Good morning, my name is April Nowling.
Can you spell your name, please?
A-P-R-I-L-N-O-W-L-I-N-G. My question prior to going for an interview for a documentation scanner at Williamson County Clerk's office was, on a written test before I went in there, who is your favorite president in your lifetime and why? This was one question among other regular questions. When I went in, I asked Ms. Rister that I told her that was an odd question to have on a test. And she said, you'd be surprised what you can learn about someone with that question. There were 3 openings for that position, and I was not chosen. However,